Erev Tov Chaverim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Israel is retaliating for the rocket that came into their territory from Gaza. And of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu has vowed that Hamas will pay the price, and a heavy price. And it is a heavy price, no doubt indeed. For Hamas, several targets were already targeted today, as it is reported here on Arutz Sheva. You can see the explosion in the background there. But what people are not aware of is those attacks are continuing to happen even at this hour this evening. There are still reports coming in out of Gaza that more shelling by tanks and even aircraft have been raining down on different locations inside of Gaza. I do support Israel's right to defend itself, but sometimes it is very concerning to me when I see the government using such a heavy hand for one rocket. Of course, if life is lost, I certainly understand a retaliation, but then again, sometimes it can be too extreme, and that's what concerns me right here. We see here, AFP actually took this photo here, but I want to share with you again what's going on right now. You can see in this photo here the flares that are over the city of Gaza, and of course this particular Palestinian site here claiming that there are more shells coming down. I was listening to one video tonight already. You can hear the bombs exploding in the background there, claiming around 9:37 p.m. Israeli local time for more strikes going on inside of Gaza. Very, very difficult and tense situation there, and just hopefully and pray that this does not spiral out of control where Israel ends up again with another war with Hamas. It is a very dense populated area there, and unfortunately it is the people that suffer for the acts of those that are radical inside of the Gaza Strip there, and it only ends up making it for a very bad situation. So anyway, moving on in other news as well, I wanted to share this with you here. Lorenzo, our good friend on Already happened to share this video on his Twitter page there. This is the Russian Sukhoi, bombers here practicing inside of Russia. They're about 150 kilometers away from the Ukrainian border. Well, that's not very far, about 100 miles away. Just kind of roughly giving you an idea there. They are using their missiles in this video here, and they're test firing. This video, by the way, was not made public. It was put on a limited viewing or an unlisted viewing there, so I might add that. I cannot say for sure the authenticity as far as the timing of this, but again, they were practicing. And to give you an idea where this was at, right here on your map, as you can see here, this is the region here, and of course Ukraine here just to the west-southwest of this location here. But it's not only that. I mentioned to you earlier today in our broadcast, with all the buildup of NATO troops in different areas, NATO is moving troops here into Lithuania. They've moved quite a bit of troops here. They know that Russia is doing the Zapad military exercise here in Belarus. Russia has moved a tremendous amount of military equipment into Belarus here, which also borders on the northern side of Ukraine. So NATO has moved a tremendous amount of forces themselves into Lithuania, which borders Belarus. And not Latvia, not Estonia, but as you can tell, they're preparing in the event that there's something goes awkward with Russia. And of course, already on Poland's border as well. The United States has moved in their own equipment there here into Romania. We have troops that have moved into Romania now. And again, let me just kind of point it out here on the board here for you what we have going on here. We have Lithuania here to the north. We have Russia moving in for the exercise into Belarus, what's called the Zapad 2017 military exercise. It's supposed to be the largest ever that's been done inside of there. You have Ukraine right here to the south, and of course Kiev would be a direct line of fire if in the event something kind of spirals out of control. Again, over here to the northeast of Ukraine here, directly north, and of course Luhansk sitting south of the area there where they're practicing at. Donetsk, though, is under heavy attack by Kiev, the government there. And Russia, though, down in Sevastopol, down here near the southern part of Sevastopol, there has been seen right here, Smirpopol, there were seen Russian military equipment headed north, and of course over to the east of Ukraine, there was seen more military equipment that was headed in towards the west, headed towards Ukraine as well. Now, that's not the only thing going on. This is what we're trying to get you guys to kind of get a picture of what we're seeing here happening here all around these regions with U.S. troops in Romania, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, all around Russia's border there. Also, Russia's got a major exercises going on in the mountains here just north here of Georgia with their helicopter units there. And on top of that, Russia is also doing training in other parts of their country as well. And just to kind of give you an idea here where this photo here is coming from, this is from Stavropol, which is, again, north there of Georgia, but also not a long way from Ukraine either. It looks like Russia's trying to cover all their borders, concerned about what's going on. The other day I mentioned to you that Russia had moved in near the border of China. Right here they moved in an entire battalion of nuclear capable ICBMs. Of course, Mongolia to the right, Kazakhstan to the left. None of these are Russia's enemy. So the question would be is why would they move these particular weapons here? What strategic purpose would that serve for Russia? Don't really know, unless he's trying to get these a little bit out of harm's way from anything that could reach. Just don't really know. It's kind of an odd situation there. Also breaking, another thing happening tonight as we speak here, Erdogan, his forces are attacking the YPJ and YPG forces inside of Syria. They're under heavy shelling in eastern Afrin, and it's coming from Azaz, where the Turkish military is actually at. So the YPG forces on their particular Twitter page are reporting that tonight, that they are being heavily shelled by the Turkish government. And one thing that we have said several occasions here is kind of really a sad situation for the YPG and the YPJ. YPJ, by the way, is the Kurdish fighters that are fighting, the women that are fighting their battle. They're called the YPJ, and the YPG are the men that are fighting, the Kurdish men that are fighting to remove ISIS from the country. And yet they're constantly attacked by the Turks. And yet Russia has shown their appreciation for what the YPG and YPJ have done, as well as the United States. But neither government will stand up to Turkey when these people have fought so hard to free the country from the ISIS fighters that have been brought in. Of course, I can understand why the United States has not done anything as of yet, because the U.S. under Obama administration was in there supporting ISIS and all these other terrorists, just as the Turks are doing. And this is why Turkey continues to hammer and fight against the YPG in the first place. You would think that President Bashar al-Assad would come to their aid. They are part of his countrymen, but I think Assad kind of pulls back as well, because they want their own autonomy, and they really should have their own autonomy and their own country carved out somewhere in there, because Turkey has tried to basically almost a genocide against them inside of his own country there. And of course, those that are inside of Syria have taken up arms and are fighting to try to free a place for themselves and for their own people to live in peace. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live. Erev Tov.